Yes. Yes! It is time! Licks my lips in anticipation for Chapter 6 of To Kill a Mockingbird. Instantly gonna start out with the music for Atticus. This one's a really good chapter, so I'm really excited to read it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yes, said our father. When Jim asked him if we could go over and sit by Miss Rachel's fishpool with Dill, as this was his last night in Maycomb, tell him so long for me, and we'll see him next summer. We leaped over the low wall that separated Miss Rachel's yard from our driveway. Move the mic away. Jim whistled Bob White, and Dill answered in the darkness. Not a breath blowing, said Jim. Look yonder. Oh, shoot. He pointed to the east. A gigantic moon was rising behind Miss Maudie's pecan trees. That makes it seem harder, he said. Cross in it tonight? What the hell does that mean? Asked Dill, not looking up. He was constructing a cigarette from newspaper and string. Damn, I didn't know he got lit like that. Oh my god. I don't know who's saying this. I'm gonna say it's Jim. No, just the lady. Don't light that thing, Dill. You'll stink up this whole end of town. I think it's actually Scout. I have no clue. There was a lady in the moon in Maycomb. She sat at a dresser combing her hair. Oh, that's creepy. No, in this book, this is probably real. Imagine if this book had cosmic horror in it. That would be so weird. Oh my god. We're gonna miss you, boy, I said. Reckon we better watch out for Mr. Avery. Okay. Mr. Avery boarded across the street from Miss Henry Lafayette Du Bois's house. Boarded with Miss Maudie and Miss Caroline. Besides making change in the collection plate every Sunday, Mr. Avery sat on the porch every night until 9 o'clock and sneezed. One evening, we were privileged to witness a performance by him which seemed to have been his positively last, for he never did it again so long as we watched. Jim and I were leaving Miss Rachel's front steps one night when Dill stopped us. Golly! Look over yonder! He pointed across the street. At first we saw nothing but a kudzu-covered front porch, but a closer inspection revealed an arc of water descending from the leaves and splashing in a yellow circle of the street light. Is this man pissing himself? Or pissing? What the hell? Some 10 feet from source to earth, it seemed to us. Jim said Mr. Avery misfigured. Dill said he must drink a gallon a day, and the ensuing contest to determine relative distances and respective prowess only made me feel left out again, as I was untalented in this area. What, pissing? I'm so confused. Dill stretched, yawned, and said altogether too casually. Sorry, I'll get better reading on the next page. I know what. Let's cut off page. Continue sentence. Go for a walk. He sounded fishy to me. Nobody in Maycomb just went for a walk. Yes, that's exactly what happens in my neighborhood too. If we see people go for a walk, we usually shoot them. Where to, Dill? Dill jerked his head in a southerly direction. Southerly direction. Jim said, "Okay," when I protested. He said sweetly, "You don't have to come along, Angel May." Okay, I think Dill's saying this. "You don't have to go. Remember," cut off. Jim was not one to dwell on past defeats. It seemed the only message he got from Atticus was insight into the art of cross-examination. Examination. "Scout, we ain't gonna do anything. We're just going to the street light and back." Why are they even doing this? Like, just walk. Just walk. We strolled silently down the sidewalk, listening to porch swings creaking with the weight of the neighborhood, listening to the soft night murmurs of the grown people on our street. Occasionally, we heard Miss Stephanie Crawford laugh. "Okay. Well," said Dill. "Okay," said Jim. "Why don't you go on home, Scout?" "What are you going to do?" Dill and Jim were simply going to peep in the window with the loose shutter to see if they could get a look at Boo Radley. And if I didn't want to go with them, I could go straight home and keep my fat flopping mouth shut. That was all. But what in the Sam Holy Hell did you wait till tonight? Because nobody could see them at night. Because Atticus would be so deep in a book, like I am, he wouldn't hear the kingdom coming. Because if Boo Radley killed them, they'd miss school instead of vacation. And because it was easier to see inside a dark house in the dark than in the daytime. Did I understand? ? Jim, please, cut off. "Scout, I'm telling you, for the last time, shut your trap or go home. I declare to the Lord, you're getting more like a girl every day." Man. With that, I had no option but to join them. You have an option to just leave the monkeys? Bro, like, come on. We thought it was better to go under the high wire fence at the rear of the Radley lot. We stood less chance of being seen. The fence enclosed a large garden and a narrow wooden outhouse. Jim held up the bottom wire and motioned Dill under it. I followed and held up the wire for Jim. Okay. He held up the wire for Dill, but you gotta hold up the wire for him? It was a tight squeeze for him. "Don't make a sound," he whispered. Hold on. Okay. "Don't get in a row of collards, whatever you do. They'll wake the cutoff sentence." Continue sentence. "Dead." With this thought in mind, I made perhaps 1 step per minute. I moved faster when I saw Jim far ahead, beckoning in the moonlight. We came to the gate that divided the garden from the backyard. So many periods. Jim touched it. The gate squeaked. "Spit on it," whispered Dill. That's kind of sus, Dill. It's kind of suspect. "You've got us in a box, Jim." Oh, I thought Jim was saying that. "You've got us in a box, Jim," I muttered. Yeah. "We can't get out of here so easy." "Shh! Spit on it, Scout!" What? We spat ourselves dry, and Jim opened the gate slowly, lifting it aside and resting it on the fence. We were in the backyard. Yeah, if someone told me to spit on a gate, I would fucking beat their ass. Flipping, yeah. back of the Radley house was less inviting than the front. A ramshackle porch ran the width of the house. There were 2 doors and 2 dark windows between the doors. Instead of a column, a rough 2x4 supported one end of the roof. An old Franklin stove sat in a corner of the porch. Above it, a hat rack mirror caught by the moon and shone eerily. Arg, like a pirate, said Jim softly, lifting his foot. Smatter. Chickens, he breathed. Hey, that's my reaction when I see a chicken. They're so spooky. That we would be obliged to dodge the unseen from all directions was confirmed when Dill ahead of us spelled God in a whisper. We crept to the side of the house, around to the window with the hanging shutter. The sill was several inches taller than Jim. Oh my God. God damn, bro, like, this is just give you a hand up, he muttered to Dill. Wait, though. Jim grabbed his left wrist and my right wrist. I grabbed my left wrist and Jim's right wrist. We crouched, and Dill sat on our saddle. Oh, I didn't know Dill and Scout were horses. That's crazy. We raised him, and he caught the windowsill. Hurry, Jim whispered. We can't last much longer. Dill punched my shoulder, and we lowered him to the ground. What'd you see? Nothing. Curtains. There's a little teeny light way off somewhere, though. Let's get away from here, breathed Jim. Let's go back round and back again. Shh, he warned me, as I was about to protest. Let's try the back window. Or, let's try the back window, Dill. No, I said. Dill stopped and let Jim go ahead. When Jim put his foot on the bottom step, it caused a cut-off sentence. Oh, continued sentence. The step squeaked. He stood still. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. My battery's low. I'm constantly having to swallow. It's gross. I have to push my mic away, forward, back, all this random crap, and I'm reading on a flipping iPad. Ah. And I can't read. The step squeaked. He stood still, then tried his weight by degrees. The step was silent. Jim skipped 2 steps, put his foot on the porch, heaved himself to it, and teetered a long moment. He regained his balance and dropped to his knees. He crawled to the window, raised his head, and looked in. Then I saw the shadow. It was the shadow of a man with a hat on. At first, I thought it was the tree, but there was no wind blowing. Whoa, and tree trunks never walked. Oh, it got me. The back porch was bathed in moonlight, and the shadow, crisp as toast, moved across the porch towards Jim. Dill saw it next. He put his hands to his face. When it crossed Jim, Jim saw it. He put his arms over his head and went rigid. The shadow stopped about a foot beyond Jim. Its arm came out from its side, dropped, and was still. Then turned and moved back across Jim, walked along the porch and off the side of the house, returning as it had come. Jim leaped off the porch and galloped towards us. He flung open the gate, danced Dill and me through, and shooed us between two rows of fishing collards. Halfway through the collards, I tripped. As I tripped, the roar of a shotgun shattered the neighborhood. Dill and Jim dived beside me. Jim's breath came in sobs. "Fix my schoolyard! Hurry, Scout!" Jim held the bottom wire. Dill and I rolled through and were halfway to the shelter of the schoolyard solitary oak when we sensed that Jim was not with us. We ran back and found him struggling in the fence, kicking his pants off to get loose. He ran to the oak trees in his shorts. Safely behind it, we gave way to numbness, but Jim's mind was racing. "We gotta get home. They'll miss us." We ran across the neighborhood, crawled under the fence to deer's pasture behind our house. Ow! Fuck my finger. Flip my finger. Climbed our back fence and were at the back steps before Jim would let us pause to rest. Respiration normal. Whatever that means. The three of us strolled as casually as we could to the front yard. We looked down the street and saw a circle of neighbors at the Radley front gate. "We better go down there," said Jim. "They'll think it's funny if we don't show up." Yes. Mr. Nathan Radley was standing inside his gate, a shotgun broken across his arm. Atticus was standing beside Miss Maudie and Miss Stephanie Crawford. Miss Rachel and Mr. Avery were nearby. None of them saw us come up. We eased in beside Miss Maudie, who looked around. "Where were you all? Didn't you hear the commotion? Ow! My finger." Oh, okay. What is wrong with the goddamn sound effects? Hold on. "What happened?" asked Jim. "Oh, Mr. Radley shot a Negro in his collared patch." "Oh, did he hit him?" "No," said Miss Stephanie. "Shot in the air. Scared him pale, though. Says if anybody sees a white blank around, that's the one." Wow, I didn't know black people could also be white. That's crazy. Says he's got the other barrel waiting for the next sound he hears in that patch. And next time he won't aim high. Be it dog, bleep, or Jim Finch. "Ma'am?" asked Jim. Oh. Atticus spoke. "Where's your pants, son?" "Pants, sir?" "Pants." "Man, if my son had pants on, I would it's like, man, or like bro, what the like, man, what like man, bro, like what the it's like, bro, like what the are you seriously like having to on, man? Like, I fucking flipping hate like, oh my. It was no use in his shorts before God and everybody. I sighed. Mr. Finch. I don't know who's saying that. In the glare from the streetlight, I could see Dill hatching one. His eyes widened. His fat cherub face grew rounder. "What is it, Dill?" asked Atticus. I won him from him," he said vaguely. "Won them? How?" Question mark. Dill's hands sought the back of his head. He brought it forward and across his forehead. "We were playing strip poker up yonder by the fish pool," he said. Jim and I relaxed. The neighbors seemed satisfied. They all stiffened, but what was strip poker? Okay. We had no chance to find out. Miss Rachel went off like the town fire siren. Jesus! Dill Harris! Gambling by the fish pool? I'll strip poker you, sir! Atticus saved Dill from immediate dismemberment. "Just a minute, Miss Rachel," he said. I've never heard of them doing that before. Were you all playing cards? Jim fielded Dill's eyes. Flip. Jim fielded Dill's fly with his eyes shut. No, sir. Just with matches. I admired my brother. Matches were dangerous, but cards were fatal, of course, because we all know that. Jim, Scout, said Atticus, I don't want to hear of poker in any form again. Go buy Dills and get your pants, Jim. Settle it yourselves. Don't worry, Dill, said Jim, as we trotted up the sidewalk. She ain't gonna get you. You'll talk her out of it. That was fast thinking, son. Listen, you hear? Why's he calling him son? You're 10 years old, buddy. What the hell? We stopped and heard Atticus's voice. ... Not serious. ... They all go through it, Miss Rachel. ... Dill was comforted, but Jim and I weren't. There was the problem of Jim showing up with some pants in the morning. I'd give you some of mine, said Dill, as we came to Miss Rachel's steps. Jim said he couldn't get in them, but thanks anyway. We said good bye. Good dash bye. And Dill went inside the house. He evidently remembered he was engaged to me, for he ran back out and kissed me swiftly in front of Jim. Okay. You all right, here? He bawled after us. I sound like a pirate whenever I try to make this like Sonic the Hedgehog accent with this. Y'all right here? Yo, man, I'm just fucking Boomhauer talking like, man. Had Jim's pants been safely on him, we could have not slept much anyway. Man, when I have my pants on, I can't sleep. Every night sound I heard from my cot on the back porch was magnified threefold. Every scratch of feet on gravel was Boo Radley seeking revenge. Every passing Negro laughing in the night was Boo Radley loose and after us. Insects splashing against the screen were Boo Radley's insane fingers picking the wire to pieces. The China berry trees were malignant, hovering, alive. I lingered between sleep and wakefulness until I heard Jim murmured, "Sleep, little Three Eyes." Are you crazy? Shh! Atticus's lights out. In the waning moonlight, I saw Jim swing his feet to the floor. I'm going after them, he said. I sat upright. You can't! I won't let you! He was struggling into his shirt. I've got to! You do, and I'll wake Atticus. You do, and I'll kill you! I pulled him down beside me on the cot. I tried to reason with him. Mr. Nathan's gonna find him in the morning, Jim. He knows you lost him. When he shows him to Atticus, it'll be pretty bad. That's all there is to it. Going back to bed. That's what I know, said Jim. That's why I'm going after them. I began to feel sick. Going back to that place by himself, I remembered Miss Stephanie. Mr. Nathan had the other barrel waiting for the next sound he heard. Be it bleep, dog. Jim knew that better than I. I was desperate. Look, it ain't worth it, Jim. A licking hurts, but it doesn't last. You'll get your head shot off, Jim. Please, ... He blew out his breath patiently. It's like this, Scout, he muttered. Atticus ain't ever with me since I can remember. I want to keep it that way. This was a thought. It seemed that Atticus threatened us every other day. You mean he's never caught you at anything? Maybe so, but I just want to keep it that way, Scout. We shouldn't have done that tonight, Scout. Well, why'd you do it tonight? It was then, I suppose, that Jim and I first began to part company. Ooh. Sometimes I did not understand him, but my periods of bewilderment were short-lived. This was beyond me. Please, I pleaded, can't you just think about it for a minute? By yourself on that place cut off. Shut up! It's not like he'd ever speak to you again or something. I'm gonna wake him up, Jim. I swear I am. Jim grabbed my pajama collar and wrenched it tight. Then I'm going with you, I choked. No, you ain't. You'll just make noise. It was no use. I unlatched the back door and held it while he crept down the steps. It must have been 2 o'clock. The moon was setting, and the latticework shadows were fading into fuzzy nothingness. Jim's white shirt tail dipped and bobbed like a small ghost dancing away to escape the coming morning. A faint breeze stirred and cooled the sweat running down my sides. He went the back way, through deer's pasture, across the schoolyard and around to the fence. I thought, at least, that was the way he was headed. It would take longer. So it was not time to worry yet. I waited until it was time to worry and listened for Mr. Radley's shotgun. Then I thought I heard the back fence squeak. It was wishful thinking. Then I heard Atticus cough. I held my breath. Sometimes when we made a midnight pilgrimage to the bathroom, we would find him reading. He said he often woke up during the night, checked on us, and read himself back to sleep. I waited for his light to go on, straining my eyes to see it flood the hall. It stayed off, and I breathed again. The night crawlers had retired, but ripe china berries drummed on the roof when the wind stirred, and when the darkness was desolate with the barking of distant dogs. There he was, returning to me. His white shirt bobbed over the back fence and slowly grew larger. He came up the back steps, latched the door behind him, and sat on his cot. What the hell's a cot? Wordlessly, he held up his pants. He lay down, and for a while I heard his cot trembling. Soon he was still. I did not hear him stir again. In the chapter. Some thoughts about the chapter. I think it was pretty good. I completely missed that Mr. Radley had a goddamn shotgun. Yeah, first time I read. Let's be honest, I did not read anything. I skimmed over it, so of course I wouldn't have known that. But, that was a nice read. If I could actually read it. Just, I don't know, man. There is definitely going to be another upload today of To Kill a Mockingbird Chapter 7. This is 6. And, well, hey, I don't want to make any promises, but there might be Chapter 8 today, too. Okay. But yeah. Catch you later. Get you on the flip side.